Recently, in the span of a few short hours, Rob Manfred announced the two following items. Firstly, that Not Sacramento A's owner John J. Fisher had been elevated by other owners to their executive committee. And item number two, that some fans out there of the sport were concerned about a lack of a salary cap. Rob Manfred, you lying, hypocritical, sorry, sad sack, sellout excuse for a human being. Do not tell me, as a fan, what fans are concerned about. In fact, as a fan, let me tell you what fans are concerned about, because apparently you haven't spoken to one in like decades, if ever in your tenure. I'm guessing not too many make it up to your swanky offices in whatever the Time Life building is known as these days. Fans are worried about their beloved teams being uprooted by incompetent, bumbling morons whose only single skill in life was being the right sperm at the right place at the right time. They are worried about billionaires nickel and diming taxpayers into paying for something that rarely, if ever, provides community benefits. But most of all, fans are worried about a game steeped in Americana being stripped down and sold for parts under the guise of community. Fans and cities are nothing more than ATMs to this corrupt clique of owners who have proven time and again to not care in the slightest about baseball. To some, the salary cap and John Fisher announcements will seem unrelated. That is not the case. Make no mistake, these two are very much intertwined, but to understand that, let's go ahead and start with the salary cap. This has nothing to do with competitive balance or making baseball a level playing field. Salary caps don't really accomplish those. I mean, how many different Super Bowl champions have there been in the salary cap era? How is parity in the NBA going with its salary cap? It turns out that a small handful of well-run teams rise to the top. Those willing to invest in infrastructure are the ones that succeed even with a salary cap in place. If anything, it makes it easier for smart teams to rise to the top. All they need to do is draft, develop, and retain, because there isn't other teams out there going to pay their players more somewhere. No, a salary cap is a device for owners of a sports league to spend less money while selling it to fans as a great equalizer, as leveling the playing field. Those running the sport say they are doing this for fans. I don't want to speak for you, but I am not stupid. It is so clear what is evident here, what is taking place. The majority of owners have realized you can run out a mediocre team and make bank in most MLB markets with a modern stadium. However, when you have a franchise like the Dodgers willing to compete, willing to do whatever it takes to win, it just makes everybody else look bad. Everyone in the middle of the bell curve loathes the pace setter. Hot damn, does the MLB have its fair share of C minus owners who wouldn't look quite as bad if the Dodgers weren't out here doing what they're doing. Instead of, trying, putting together a competent marketing plan, squeezing every last bit of revenue out of available opportunities like the Dodgers do, MLB owners would rather take their ball and go home. This isn't even a small market versus big market thing anymore. The rot has seeped into places like Boston and Chicago. The real issue here is that while everyone is so focused, obsessed over how much the Dodgers are spending on free agents and deferred contracts, they're ignoring the reality of the situation. They're ignoring what makes the Los Angeles Dodgers such an attractive franchise to play for. Sure, some of it is money, and LA is a cool place to live if you're into that sort of thing. There are certainly more opportunities there than, say, Cincinnati or Milwaukee, but it's only part of the equation. The Dodgers invest massively in scouting, coaches, coordinators, and analysts. Their talent development and player welfare programs are second to none in Major League Baseball. All of that matters. Yes, players go to LA for the money and the lifestyle, but they also go because they become better players and make more money elsewhere, or stay in LA and win more. Either way, they're improving themselves and potentially making more money down the line or winning more down the line. That ain't happening in Seattle, Denver, Washington, D.C., St. Louis, Cincinnati, and about 20 other MLB cities. These teams are doing the absolute bare minimum on all fronts to field a team. And instead of competing, owners across the land are complaining that it's unfair for a team to try and be good. Those owners can go choke on a rotting Arby's roast beef sandwich for all I care. That mindset, it's un-American, it's anti-capitalist. Aren't these dudes supposed to be all about the free market and capitalism, competition and business? Given their business interests, that's their whole shtick, no? Please, someone explain this to me, the capitalists who hate capitalism. That's right, capitalism in America is all about the free and open market until you reach the top and become the biggest. And then, from there, it's all about stifling any sort of competition so no one else can overtake you. If you do not see how this is hypocritical and quite frankly extremely evil, you are an idiot and you are the problem. Don't like me saying that? Well, you can go free market yourself into watching someone else's video. I really do not care. And you know why? Because I'm all about the free open market. I'm all about competition. I am going to do everything in my power to compete, what I can do to be successful. And if someone is better than me, I'm happy to admit it. That's just life. You win some, you lose some, but you got to compete. You're not going to win if you don't compete unless you happen to be an MLB owner. Why compete when you can artificially rein in the best teams under the guise of increasing competition? Yeah, because that's what's stopping Dickie Monfort or John Stanton or whoever is running the Marlins into the ground at any given moment, or out-of-town Stu in Tampa. Or John J. Fisher. Yes, John Fisher, the man who has spent the past few years talking about how he couldn't afford to retain the team's free agents. He couldn't afford to sign players or trade for players. A sob story indeed. Well, until he spent this offseason handing out absurd deals to middling players as if they were going out of style, Luis Severino inked a 3-year contract for $67 million guaranteed. The team also handed out $10 million to Jose Leclerc, who had a 4.32 ERA in 2024 and more balks than saves. Ironically enough, it was the A's who were responsible for Leclerc losing his closer's role in Texas last season when he blew a save against them in April and never saw another opportunity again. Matt Chapman, Matt Olson, Sean Murphy, who wants all-stars when you can have middling pitching and pay massive overs for it? Now, Fisher doesn't really want to hand out these by his standards lavish contracts. The only reason he's doing so is to avoid issues with the Players Association for playing in a minor league stadium. How much money is it worth forcing players to play in a minor league stadium built 25 years ago in the oppressive Sacramento summer heat? Well, apparently about $77 million over 3 years or so. No wonder those running the MLBPA are about to get railroaded into a salary cap. Owners, by the way, were so delighted with Fisher's actions. They're so tickled pink by what he's doing, his ability to put the least amount of effort into accomplishing anything, that he was elevated by his peers to serve on the executive committee. Let's talk about this, shall we? John Fisher's team is playing in a woefully under-equipped minor league stadium, while allegedly a new facility in Las Vegas is being built, despite never having shown the public from whom he is being financially supported by his ability to fund said project. Not to mention the cash he has taken directly out of other owners' pockets via the league's revenue sharing system, all while trying to lose as many baseball games as possible in Oakland to drive fans away. This is the individual other owners believe is capable of overseeing league business, a man who has provided other owners with the blueprint on how to treat fans and cities terribly is now ensuring every other MLB franchise can execute that plan if they so desire. The salary cap announcement and MLB owners elevating Fisher to serve on the executive committee, this is not a coincidence. On the contrary, it's fans' greatest fear becoming a reality. Major League Baseball owners are doing everything in their power to run the sport as cheaply as possible, from restricting how much money teams can give players, to culling the minor league system, to an overarching deal with fanatics that single-handedly ruin merchandise, to centralized control of once local workings, to just about every measure enacted by owners and the league in the past decade. Baseball is no longer about community, and it's certainly not about the best winning. Nope. Professional baseball is nothing but maximizing profits for a bunch of lazy dimwits who fear competition because it exposes them for what they truly are: frauds. Phony businessmen who could care less about the community they are in or winning ball games or the sport at large. The problem is they're getting away with it, and they will continue to get away with it until 45,000 people stop showing up to Coors Field on a nice August evening, or 50,000 stay away from Oracle Park to see the Giants underwhelm, or throngs of Bostonians give John Henry the middle finger he deserves by not showing up to Fenway Park. Even then, MLB owners will just turn around and blame those same fans for not showing up, and then they're going to go run their con in some other city. What really gets me, though, about all of this is that you still have fans, you still have towns who believe this will not happen to them. This cannot happen to them. They're too popular. They have too much history. They are simply too big to fall victim to MLB's crooked activities. Too much history? Tell that to the Ghost Runner. MLB is doing everything in its power to dismantle history and rewrite a new one in its own vision. The past few years have been nothing but rule changes and decisions designed to erase history or minimize the sport's past. WCW once had a Judy Bagwell on a pole match. At the rate we're going, MLB is a few years away from a Jeff Bagwell on a pole game. It's gonna be epic, bro. Nothing is safe with baseball being run by these villainous twats. Don't believe me? Well, John J. Fisher is there on the inside giving other owners the scoop on how to run his own grift. That doesn't happen by accident. Trying to pretend otherwise only means you won't be prepared when, and not if, it happens to your favorite baseball team. Hell, it's only a matter of time before Rob Manfred pawns that hunk of metal for scraps and awards the World Series winner an NFT or meme coin. Think of the cost savings, bro. Oh, what's that? NFT and meme coins are just giant scams? Don't worry, I'm sure MLB will think of something. Thank you for watching this video. To understand why the A's should not be using Sacramento on jersey patches or any other merchandise, check out the video in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. And to learn about the story of the National League pitcher who almost led the circuit in wins while having one of the highest ERAs, check out the video in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Until next time, this is the Touchback. Hashtag sell the team. And as always, hashtag take it out to the 25.